Pacha with the weekly Pele report, and I can't believe it's the end of May. Cut it out. Oh man, time is flying by. Okay, so this week there's a number of different things going on. Again, so many aspects, so much to talk about. And with all this Gemini energy, who knows how long I am going to talk. Okay. But, I want to start out with, and there's going to be a shift in the energy. And that, because what we're doing now is today, as I'm speaking, Mars is conjunct Chiron in the sign of Aries. And I want to discuss that a little bit. While the moon is shifting from Aquarius into Pisces. She's going through that third quarter phase and coming back around, just waning, getting smaller and smaller, coming around closer to the sun, which is traveling along with Venus. Anyway, I get lost in these trees here. The wind blowing. It is such a beautiful day. Check out these flowers over here. Not to get distracted. But what else is going on? Well, anything can be going on because Mercury is conjunct Uranus tomorrow. And I'm going to be reading the Sabian symbol. And it really applies to so many different things that are going on this week. I want to just see if I can climb down these rocks without dropping the camera and everything. Slipping into the... This is the Bear River. The Bear River. I used to live right on this river. On Bear Ridge Road. And bear was my totem animal for a little while. Look at these guys. Look at these guys. Dancing in the wind of Gemini. Okay, so Mercury, Uranus, right? And the moon moving through Pisces, of course, is going to conjunct with Saturn and then Neptune. By Friday, we have that going on. And boom, she goes into Aries. We are going to have a moon Chiron Mars conjunction on Sunday. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about that is it's not the only aspect. What's going on all week is Jupiter trine Pluto, and it is exact, okay, on that same day, Sunday, along with Mercury coming into a sextile with Neptune. Now, isn't that a beautiful river? I'm going to head down by those rapids, I think, to sit and do the report. It's been a while since I've been out here. The last time I ran into a rattlesnake, so I'm having to face some of my Mars, Chiron, and Aries wounded warrior. But let me finish up these aspects here. So then, after Mercury sextiles Neptune, he goes into Gemini, and on that same day, Monday, okay, he goes into Gemini, and of course trines Pluto, at the very early stages of Aquarius. So we have an air trine, Mercury to Pluto, and then the big day next Tuesday. I don't know what's going to happen, but I've got some ideas. Not only does Mercury conjunct Jupiter, but on the exact same day, Venus conjuncts the Sun. And the Moon conjuncts Uranus. There's going to be a breakthrough, but let me sit down, look at the camera, and talk to you about it. All right, let's start out with the song for this week because it's in my head. Pachamama, I'm coming home to the place where I belong. Do you know that one? You got to click on the link below this video. It is an amazing. I want to be free, so free, like a feather blowing in the breeze. I want to fly high, so high. Anyway, yeah. It's a beautiful time. It's a challenging time. Life is just such a mixture. But we want to look back to and gain a context for all these conjunctions. Mars, Chiron, Mercury, Uranus, Mercury, Jupiter, Sun, Venus, boom, 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 boom. Let's remember that whenever there's a conjunction, it's the close of an old cycle. So that you have an ending prior to, boom, then a new beginning. And I like to think of these planets as spiritual beings. You know, they're characters, and they're going around and they're visiting their neighbors, and they're having conversations, and they're putting new plans together and ideas and visions. And so this is a real time of, I mean, Mercury, Uranus. I mean, we can kind of go down in order here. You know, this Mercury, Uranus is. And it has to do with the mantra for this week. It has to do with, you know, Mercury coming up to Jupiter, Mercury going into Gemini. I mean, this is our ideas, our thoughts, what we're thinking. You know, let's be mindful of our thoughts, mindful of our communication. This is a time where it's all very, very important. And more than anything else, it's the new, exploring alternative pathways, exploring new connections, new relationships, new ideas, new workshops, maybe traveling off to, you know, new courses, new schools. This is like really opening up our mind to new information that is going to help us along our journey on our path. Gemini is the student. Yes, learning from the professors. Jupiter is there too, so even the teachers are learning something. And what are they learning? I mean, this is the thing here. To me, I really want to focus on this Mars Chiron, because if you look at Sun, Venus, and Mercury, Jupiter, it's all, you know, like beautiful and love. And like last week, I was just saying it's all beautiful, 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 but not everything is beautiful. And not everything is easy. And not everything is light, love, joy, and happiness. No, 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 no. We've got Mars conjunct Chiron. Now, as evolutionary astrology says, Jeffrey Wolf Green, the man, we know we have a soul, which is Pluto, because we have desire, which is Mars. Mars is the lower octave of Pluto. So we can look back a little bit here, all right, to get a sense of, we know Chiron has been moving through Aries for a few years now. Okay, and it's really very much about healing the wounded masculine. And I want to talk a little bit more about that today, because now Mars is the knife, the scalpel, the surgery. Let's go in to that wound and dig out whatever the problem is. I mean, this is like, there is a desire, Mars' desire, to attend to our wounds. And I've got this bad wound on my leg, and it's not healing. And you know what? It's ugly. It just struck me this morning. I'm looking at my leg, which, I mean, I like my body. I like my legs. You know, they've always been, you know, all right. I mean, they're kind of chicken legs, a little skinny, but this wound is gross. Ooh, you know, just like I don't want to describe, I don't want to go into it too much, but, and this is Chiron, our wounds are ugly. I mean, we don't want to hide them, ignore them, avoid them, slide them under the carpet or behind the curtain because we're proud and they're beautiful and we want to show off. No, they're wounds. A wound hurts. Yeah. And it's not only hurtful, it's painful. It causes, self-doubt, self-questioning, especially here in Aries, the wound of Aries. Aries is courage to charge forward in spite of fear. Courage is action in the face of fear. And so what is the wound to that? Cowardice. I am afraid. I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to say that. I'm afraid to ask for what I need. I'm afraid to voice my desires. I'm afraid to assert myself. I may be ridiculed. I may be rejected. I may be shamed. I may be put in jail. I may be ba 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 ba. The list goes on and on of all the possibilities that could happen, if, my desires are not okay with everybody else, or not accepted, or not heard, or I'm not understood. Or so, we can go through all kinds of, mental masturbation around all the possibilities, and the paranoia, can drive us into withdrawing, remaining a flower on the wall, unexpressed, not speaking our truth, not speaking our desires, not communicating our needs, not sharing our feelings, not blah, 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 blah. And we can contract and contract and contract. And it's not good. It's not fun. It's not healthy. It doesn't serve, right? The evolutionary growth, the evolutionary pattern, other people, ourselves, our own journey, our own path. The world is missing out. Whenever someone is shut down or afraid to express their unique, individual, maybe bizarre and unusual, realities or whatever, hey, everybody loses. Everybody loses at this. And then when it comes to Aries, there's anger. There's resentment, there's rage. It doesn't stop with just being suppressed or feeling victimized or helpless or hopeless that I'll never get my way, I'll never get my desires met, so I'm going to just, crawl in a hole or whatever. And I crawl in a hole, and what happens? You crawl in the hole and you sit there and you stew. The little witch's brew, you're in your little cauldron. Doggone it, gee, I should have said that, and they're not psychically reading my mind, and people don't understand me or don't know me, but some of that can be just the result of not expressing ourselves. How can we be understood if we're not vulnerable, exposing and sharing our authentic needs, feelings, fears, desires? So this is a crux, this is a dilemma, and Mars is closing up a cycle. That cycle, Mars conjuncted Chiron. It was back June 15th of 2022, almost 2 years ago. Mars has been here before. It was only at 15 degrees, and now this one is, just bumped up into the 20s. Chiron has not gone that far. And Mars is back again. And it's in the balsamic phase. It has been, for a couple of weeks now. Ending, finishing, closing, completing that last healing cycle, that last opportunity that we had. And this is, this borders on so many different aspects of our lives. Mars is our sexual expression. It is our need to penetrate. It is the masculine energy that wants to be hard. It's the phallus. It's the Shiva, the lingam, that is just wanting to, right? Assert itself. And boom, you chop that off, or you cut that off, or you miss the mark. Say your spear misses, you're doing archery and you completely miss the whole, not just the bullseye, maybe you miss the whole thing. Shoot. So there's a lot of, this is, like I say, Mars is the lower octave of Pluto, which is the root chakra. This gets down to our primal needs and our primal fears, and right down into survival of the fittest and competition and who's bigger and who's faster and who's better and who's, the king and who's going to win and blah, 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 blah. And this is for women too. It's not just guys and masculine. This is the masculine principle that we all have within us, the yin and the yang. This is the yang energy. And so what happens here? The whole thing about Aries is to keep on trying. It's courage in the face of fear. It's courage in the face of failure. It's, I didn't get my need met last time, or they did not hear me last time, or I was thwarted. I was punished last time. But I'm not going to give, this is the energy, this is the healing power of Aries, is that the soul doesn't want to stop. It doesn't want to give up. It's to keep on going. Baby steps, bit by bit, little by little. Maybe you didn't get the whole enchilada, so now, but maybe it's just like you gotta get it bite by bite by bite. Break it down, break it down. And Aries is not good with patience. Aries wants it now. And it can even feel like it's a failure if it doesn't happen immediately. Now, the other side of this is, that I fear a little bit, just with all these wars going on, okay? This is also, the principle of overcompensation, that if I feel impotent, weak, emasculated, like a eunuch or something, I can overcompensate and secretly devise plots or plans, or just move into places of destruction, of violence, of aggressiveness instead of assertion. And this is not healing the wound, okay? This is avoiding that wound, with, maybe it'll go away if I, grandstand. It's called grandstanding, right? So, the healing power of this, time period, and the beautiful thing is that we can be going down, and we can be feeling, and we can get frustrated, and we can have challenges these days, but there's a promise here that next Tuesday comes Mercury, Jupiter, and Sun, Venus, and we start a whole new Venus cycle, the Venus star point. This begins with Venus is now in the underworld, conjunct the Sun. We cannot see her. She's behind the Sun from Earth, and this is, 584-day synodic cycle of Venus begins next week. So it's almost like we have to do this psychic surgery. We have to go into this masculine, just prior to, like, close out heal these masculine wounds, our issues with men or the masculine or sexuality or self-assertion or, all the problems or issues that we have. And then comes the party. Then comes the, Venus says, yeah, baby. You did it. You got it. We're off to a new beginning. And how is this accomplished? The rest of this, boy, the wind is coming up here, man. I hope you guys can, hope it's not blowing out the frickin' microphone. Anyway, let's look at the Sabian symbol for this, because, this is also then after this. So, and along with Mars conjunct Chiron, what do we have? Mercury conjunct Uranus. Brand new, genius, ideas, insights, enlightenment. This is a period of it may be hard, but it's like realization after realization after realization. Mercury is the lower octave of Uranus. So, here we also have, and then after Uranus, Mercury comes to Jupiter in Gemini. I got to talk about it, write about it, blog about it, speak about it, get on social media and tell all my friends about it and talk to my brothers and sisters about it. And what are we talking about? Well, let's look at the Sabian symbol. First of all, I want to read to you the moon. Yeah, the third quarter square moon, which is tomorrow. So that's, that's right, at the same time as this Mercury Uranus. An aviator pursues his journey, flying through ground obscuring clouds. Our ability to develop powers and skills, which by transcending natural limitations, allows us to operate in mental, spiritual realms. This symbol, in a sense, synthesizes the implications of the four preceding symbols. I'm not going to read the four preceding symbols. The dedication to the community of men, present and future, self-assertion, and the ambition to reach a social goal. Man is seen mastering difficulties implied in a type of operation transcending his organic limitations and the narrow boundaries of a localized living space. He does so as an individual in command of powerful energies, but also as heir to the industry of countless innovators and managers. This last symbol of the sequence of evolving stages of consciousness and human activity, it evokes the achievement of mastery. It's radar, using science, using technology, using Uranus, using artificial intelligence, using everything that, that is, outside the realm of just kind of, the natural boundaries or limits of rocks, stones, trees, and plants. It's science, technology. And Mercury, Uranus. This is the moon squaring the sun. Phenomenal to have this Sabian symbol of the moon reflecting, this highly advanced mental imagery, right? Of an airplane pilot, an aviator flying through clouds where you're not able to see, but you've got assistance, invisible assistance. Very, very powerful energy happening with that. Now, we really want to understand that we are starting this new 584 day synodic cycle of Venus. And that's over a year. It's a little less than 2 years, but it's a year and 3/4 or so. It's a long, the Sun Venus synodic cycle. It's a very long cycle. So now we are closing. You may have people going out of your life right now, and next week there may be new people coming into your life. There may be, your psychic surgery may be removing wounds, tumors, cysts, cancerous growths, psychosis, neurosis, conditioning, patterning, fears, things that have been holding you back, holding you down, making you feel, weak inside. But the promise is, right, 6 days later, we have this new cycle of love, of light, of harmony. Venus, Aphrodite, this goddess of beauty. She's moving, like I said, she's moving from being the warrior in the east, right, to the reflective, wizened, calm communicator, like the ruler of Libra. Yes, she is all this is boom. And it's in this sign of Gemini, another air. There's this air side of Venus. We can work it out. Pachamama. We are all striving human beings. And sometimes our strategies don't fulfill our needs. And it doesn't mean we're weak, we're failures, we're bad. It means that we have to change our strategy. And so this, Mercury, Jupiter, Sun, Venus in Gemini is like, look at my strategies. Gemini is, figuring this, doing that, checking it out, curious, interested. Remain, keeping our interest, being interested in relationship, being interested in astrology, being interested in life, being interested in figuring it out. This is a key. We lose interest and we lose it all. And if we don't have curiosity, we're not going to get out of our little cave, out of our little cocoon, out of our little nest, out of our little egg. And we're never really going to expand, evolve, create what we have the potential to create. Yeah? So, it's important now to talk. Here is the Sabian symbol for the Sun conjunct Venus at the 15th degree of Gemini. It's two Dutch children talking to each other, exchanging their knowledge. Castor and Pollux, perhaps, right? Amazing, happening right there in Gemini. The need to clarify one's experiences through actual contacts with like-minded individuals. This symbol adds something vital to the preceding one. Transcendent experiences and supernormal faculties must be tested, like the aviator, and clarified through the use of normal and collectively tested means of communication, which may mean through scientific procedures. The Dutch children seem to have been introduced by the subconscious mind of the formulator of the symbol because of an association with neatness and the open spirit of discussion which has prevailed in Holland. They are children because the new experiences are still very fresh and require certification. This demands a clean and open mind, eager to test
what is experienced in an exchange of views with one's peers. This symbol closes the scene of discovery. All discoveries must be checked and their validity tested. In old tribal cultures, a man's great dreams were accepted as valid and acted upon only if another tribesman also had a similar dream. The need for objectivity has to be met, and this implies the confirmation of any subjective realization by some similar experience. It also implies the type of dualism inherent in all mental experiences as well as in mental concepts. I think of the 9 basic human needs of nonviolent communication, which is so about Venus and Gemini. And I have to give a little plug in here, okay, for my, it's not, they changed it to compassionate communication. But Steve is hosting, a weekend, 2 Saturday seminar, the Basic 101 Relationship, course on compassionate communication. There's a link for it down below the video if you want to check that out and sign up for that. This guy is amazing. He is an NVC guru. Been doing it for 30 years. An amazing man. It's good work. But let's really come back to this Gemini communication, the need for community, the need to be seen, the need to be understood, the need to share and have validation through our peers. This is a basic human need, and it can be denied, especially with Mars, Chiron, and Aries. I'm afraid to come out and speak my truth, or I don't want to get stoned. But, this is calling us, to really express our realizations. Mercury hits Uranus. We have this aha, oh my God, now I see, now I know. Why didn't I see that before? Oh my goodness. This is a time for profound revelation. This revelation may be about our wounds. It may be about what I have missed, about what I need to heal myself. I can find my medicine. Mars Chiron. I desire my medicine. I'm going to find my medicine. I'm going to cure myself. I'm going to cure my wound. But you know what? Our wound becomes our medicine, right? So it's like this is also a time to check. I found this medicine. What do you think? Have you tried it? Has anybody else worked? We can look, we can use the internet. We can use, friendships. We can use, WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you name it. There is all kinds of ways of reaching out to validate. It's like, I found this really works. I found that doesn't work. And that was a dead end, a false hope. Don't go down that road. You can stick a roadblock there so you save everybody else a lot of trouble going down a dead end. This is how the student becomes the teacher. This is how the wounded warrior becomes, the master. So there's promise here. It's like it's not an easy road, and sometimes the medicine is bitter, and it's challenging to swallow. But it's where community can come in, friends, siblings, other people, and support. 2 Dutch children. And they clean their slate. They let go of the past. I guess the last thing I wanted to mention was just, Mars as the lower octave of Pluto. You know, Mars was conjunct Pluto February 14th of 2024. This is just a few months ago. Mars conjunct Pluto. That started a new 2-year cycle, okay, at the first degree of Aquarius. I'm not going to read that Sabian symbol, but I'm going to say Mars comes around to Pluto, his father, his higher octave, and says, okay, what's the new mission? What's the new desire? What's the new evolutionary edge? And Pluto says, it's Aquarius, it's Uranus, it's everything alternative, it's going outside the box, it's going into the unknown, it's trusting the future. Now get down there and do it. And so Mars marches through Aquarius, marches through Pisces, comes into Aries, and bam, runs into Chiron. And now Mars is like talking to Chiron saying, Pluto wants us to, and Chiron, is everything about. I mean, he was the father of homeopathy, right? He sought every medicine to heal his wound. So he's all about everything alternative. This is just like a really wonderful time of revelation, outside the box, to bring in new ways, new medicine around relationships, new medicine around sexuality, new medicine around our masculinity, which obviously is new insights into our femininity, right? And the interplay, the yin-yang, that dance between the masculine and the feminine. And then, of course, new breakthroughs in communication and ways and means of sharing ourselves and sharing our truth. So, I am open. I will explore new possibilities as the known and familiar fails. Trusting my interest and curiosity to put wind back in my sails. If you feel stuck, okay, these balsamic, Mars ending to Chiron, Mercury ending to Uranus, ending to Jupiter, Venus ending to the Sun. I mean, all these ending. I mean, you may feel like, oh man, I'm going freaking nowhere. But out of that nowhere, boom, something new emerges. There's a new beginning out of the end. There's a new possibility. So we just need our curiosity. One more time, baby. I will explore new possibilities as the known and familiar fails. Trusting my interest and curiosity to put wind back in my sails. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And if this doesn't work, Gemini says try that. And just keep on experimenting, talking, checking things out, trusting, curious, boom. And the beat goes on. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.